Any Chinese people in the crowd? Any Chinese? 中国人吗？你们是中国人吗？你是中国人吗？
I'm from Australia, mate.
Oh, you're from Australia. Okay. 我说中文你会听得懂吗？
一点点。
一点点，哇，挺好。那我跟你说中文，你就跟我说中文，没关系。你父母是哪里的？
中国人。
哦，中国人，中国哪里？
上海。
哦，上海，哇，挺好，哇。
谢谢。
Don't worry, they get uncomfortable. The crowd get uncomfortable because I'm prepared for the future and they are not, so it's difficult. What can I say, man? I'm 47. I'm a 47-year-old straight white guy. 47-year-old cisgendered straight white guy. You can't put pride behind any of my identities. It'll offend people, you know? And I'm fine with that because I'm actually a pretty liberal guy. I know I have like a Trumpy head, but I'm not really, I'm not how I represent. I don't even know how I would describe my politics. Aggressively moderate. That's how I would describe my politics. And listen, I grew up with a lot of white guys. They're not happy, man. You know? They're like, bro, it's a fucking tough time to be a straight white guy. No, not an easy time to be a straight white guy. Well, I just want to put it on the record that it is not a tough time to be a straight white guy. I just want to get that on the record. Get that on the record. Not a tough time to be a straight white guy. But I would like to add, it is not as good as it was. And I don't think that's controversial. You would notice a difference. A lot more accountability, a lot less movies geared towards me. I should be a game show host already if this fucking industry was how it used to be. Now I'm in a fucking basement on a Tuesday. But I'm fine with it, man. You know? I'm totally fine with it. In fact, I'll acknowledge my privilege. I know that acknowledging white privilege gives a lot of white guys the ick these days, but I'm fine with it. Huh? I am a straight white guy and I acknowledge my privilege. In fact, I'll go even further. I'm not just a straight white guy. I am the worst type of straight white guy. A good-looking straight white guy. I have not suffered. I'm sure I walked on this stage. There's some diversity in the crowd. You saw me, fucking 47-year-old gray-haired white guy. You were like, look at this asshole. He hasn't suffered a day in his life. And you are correct. I have a house in the Hamptons. You know how I got it? I inherited it. And we're from Queens. That's how easy it is to be a white person. We're not even fancy people. I got a fucking house in the Hamptons. Good-looking straight white guy. Best thing to be, man. It's not controversial. This isn't offending anybody. This is a historical fucking accuracy. Tall, good-looking straight white guy. Are you kidding me? Tall is a privilege. Unless you're on a plane, tall is a privilege. You know? You know, nobody wants to talk about all the other privileges. You know, I'll tell you what makes me laugh the most is I love when I say, oh, you know, it's not a tough time to be a straight white guy. And people always cheer, and women always cheer at that. And I'm fine with that, you know. And I know about sexism and the patriarchy. I know about all that shit. But I do love sometimes when women think that they are somehow devoid of their own discriminations, their own little blind spots of discrimination. Because I know that for a fact, women love to discriminate against who? Anybody? Short men. Thank you. Short men. You know how I know? Because they don't fucking hide it. They can't fucking say it enough. It's literally on their Tinder profiles. Under 6 feet, not apply. Who the fuck do you think you are? Who do you think you are discriminating against our short kings? That's heightism. That's the next round of canceling. They're coming for you, you heightist bitches. You know who you are. You know who you are. They're coming for you next. But personally, I don't care because I'm 6'3". Tall, good-looking, straight white guy. Best thing to be, man. And I acknowledge that privilege. I acknowledge it. You know, in fact, I'll go even further. I'm not just a tall, good-looking, straight white guy. I went gray and got even better looking. Jesus Christ, the privilege. The fucking privilege. Just when I thought I was getting old, they put a fucking Z in front of daddy. They made me a fucking zaddy. Yeah. So it's great. What can I say, man? I'm a fucking relic. You know? I drink milk. I still drink milk. You know? And people judge me for it, but I'm from the generation where milk was healthy, you know? Milk, it does a body good. Pass it on. How's that go? Build your bones so you can grow. Milk's got calcium, don't you know? It does. Yeah, that shit never leaves you. And I know that there's vegans here, and I'm very supportive of vegans. I'm not one of these people who's critical of a vegan lifestyle. I think it's great. I think it's actually quite noble, but I sing that and it never left my head, and vegans go, oh, well, that was Dairy Council propaganda. That was milk propaganda that they fed to you, and milk is not healthy. So much so that now people actually think that milk is unhealthy, and when I go for a latte in the Lower East Side and I say, can I have a latte? They say, oh, what type of milk would you like? And I'm like, really? I have to say what type of milk when I just want regular milk? It literally says dairy alternatives on your fucking screen, but I don't want the alternative, so I thought you would just assume that I want regular milk. Unless I didn't want regular milk, then I would tell you what other fucking milk I want. So I say, oh, regular milk. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, am I sure? Am I resetting my iPhone here? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure I know what I want. You know, so then I posted that bit online. I actually posted that bit online I just did before, and the fucking vegans were the aggressive vegans. Not all vegans are aggressive, but there's a militant wing of veganism, and they were hot in my fucking comments, and 50% of them said, we're the only mammals that drink the milk of other mammals. We're the only mammals that still drink milk after we've been weaned. And I'm like, oh, you think that's gonna turn me off fucking milk? You're comparing us to other fucking mammals? There's a lot of fucking other shit we're the only fucking mammals that do it. You know, like cooking and fucking fire and fucking Taco Tuesday and colonoscopies. And fucking Tylenol. Don't fucking think that I'm fucking looking at deer going, wow, we are fucking so bad as a fucking race, as a species, you know? And I promise you, if fucking mammals were fucking as smart as fucking humans, other mammals were smart as humans, they'd be fucking drinking other fucking milk too. But they're too fucking dumb to realize how fucking sweet, full fat fucking cow's milk is. Because they would, if they could. But they don't fucking know. I promise you, every fucking deer in Long Island would be fucking not running out in front of your car. They'd be sucking cows' tits. They'd be fucking tongue deep in a fucking udder. I mean, I don't really care. It's not something I'm passionate about, but it's just, I'm not this passionate about milk. Full fat, Lucky Charms, motherfucker. Any Chinese people in the crowd? Any Chinese? 中国人吗？你们是中国人吗？你是中国人吗？
I'm from Australia, mate.
Oh, you're from Australia. Okay. 我说中文，你会听得懂吗？
一点点。
一点点，哇，挺好。那我跟你说中文，你就跟我说中文，没关系。你父母是哪里的？
中国人。
哦，中国人，中国哪里？
上海。
哦，上海，哇，挺好，哇。
谢谢。
Don't worry, they get uncomfortable. The crowd get uncomfortable because I'm prepared for the future and they are not, so it's difficult. Also, can you please verify that I was actually speaking Chinese? Because I know some people are like, oh my God, I saw the most racist thing yesterday. This white guy was on stage, he was like, any Chinese people? And then he chung-chung-ching this guy at the second table. I was like, fuck, cancel this guy already. Like, oh my God. Cancel him, seriously. Actually, before I continue, you know, I just don't think this crowd really has had a good enough Chinese energy for this bit. If you could just play anything just to create a little more of a Chinese vibe in the crowd. Just first thing that comes to your head, just play it. Something a little less racist would have been great, but that's fine. I'm gonna give you a pass on the gong. No, but I lived in China for a couple of years. I made a documentary about learning Chinese to do stand-up comedy in Mandarin. So I had to do all these challenges to help me learn the language. So one of the things I did was I got a job for a month in a Chinese restaurant. Now, you don't have to call it a Chinese restaurant there. It's just a restaurant, but... just so you know, I was a yin bing yuan, right? So I was a welcomer, okay? Customers would walk in and I would shout as loud as possible, 欢迎光临, right? Which means you're very welcome, okay? It's not like a host, you know, it's not like, how many people in your party? Because there's only one party in China. So it's more like, that's right. The jokes are gonna come hard and fast. The Asians approve, just so you know. The jokes are gonna come hard and fast now. You gotta, I know you weren't expecting bilingual comedy on a Tuesday night in New York, but that's what you're getting. Concentrate. Yeah, I don't listen. Unless you've been to China, you will not have seen this job. The door opens, you shout, 欢迎光临. And of course, I was terrible at it, because every day I'd be like, 欢迎光临, and the customers would be like, whoa. Oh, your Chinese is so good. And I'd be like, then why the fuck are you speaking English? I would have thought if my Chinese was good, you would have spoken Chinese, but they love it when a white guy could speak Chinese. Like, any white guy here, you could learn ni hao off Dora the Explorer, go to Beijing tomorrow, be like, ni hao, and they'd be like, whoa! Oh, your Chinese is so good. You look like a David Beckham. What? Now, I'm not saying I look like David Beckham, but for the record, in China, I look like David Beckham, just so you know. And it makes me feel guilty because we do not get excited when they speak English. And I'm not talking about American-born Chinese or Australian-born Chinese. I'm talking about Chinese immigrants that are coming over here, clearly struggling in their second language. We do not reciprocate the same awe. You know, I'll be in Flushing Main Street, Chinese person come up to me, be like, excuse me, where's Subway? I'm never like, whoa! Oh, your English is so good. 哇，你说的英文特别好，我操！ No, I'm just like, it's over there. And you're missing a verb. Not because I'm an asshole, by the way. That's the Chinese way, right? That's the Asian way. They're very direct. You know? I miss that about China, honestly. The abruptness, you know? We're so easily offended here. Everyone's so sensitive. Not a problem in China. If it's in their head, it's coming out of their mouth. Like, if you're fat in China, they'll just be like, whoa, you are so fat. And if you get offended, they'd be like, well, don't be fat. I don't understand. You know, you don't have to be fat, right? They don't give a fuck. They think we have massive noses. You know, I never knew I had a big nose until I moved to China. Every Chinese woman I met was like, "What? Ni pizza to be a da." Your nose is huge. I had to tell them that is not a compliment in the West. I went for a massage one time. This masseuse kept rubbing my nose every 5 minutes like a genie was going to come out of my nostrils. She was like, "Oh my God, it's so big." I was like, "If you could say that at the end of the massage too, that'd be great." It's a hand job joke, Lithuania. So they call us La Wai, right? If you go to China, you will be a La Wai. It means foreigner, okay? It's not a negative term, La Wai. You are a foreigner, right? But what I've discovered is when they immigrate to the United States, they still call us La Wai. Now, you don't know they're calling you a La Wai because you don't speak Chinese. When you go for Chinese food, they're calling you a La Wai. But I know when I go for Chinese food because I'm like a spy. I speak Chinese. I'm like a balloon hovering over the restaurant. I know what they're saying about us. I catch them calling me a La Wai all the time. They'll be like, hey, those dumplings are for the La Wai. I'll be like, hey, we're in America. You're the La Wai. And they'll be like, oh, 对对对对对. Oh, 对. Whoa, 我们是老外. Whoa, we are the La Wai. Whoa. Ooh, your Chinese is so good. And this is all real, by the way. You know, I feel like sometimes people think I'm like making this shit up, but I really did live in China. I ended up staying there for 2 years. I loved it so much. And I did this job for real. You know, if you're bored one day, go on YouTube, Breaking China, 6-part series about my time in China. Episode 3 is about my time in the restaurant. I actually went from Beijing to Heilongjiang on the border of Russia, and I worked as a Yinbing Yuan every day, right? And then 3 weeks into it, I had an amazing cultural experience. These 2 drunken Chinese guys walked in. I did my best. 欢迎光临. And then one of them, really loudly, in front of the whole restaurant, goes, 欢迎光临, and mocks my Chinese in front of the whole restaurant. I was like, hold on a minute, buddy. You can 欢迎光临 me. I'm the only white guy in this tiny Chinese city of 1.3 million people. You can 欢迎光临 me. That's racist, yeah? Because if I was in New York or Dublin and I walked into the Chinese restaurant and the welcomer was like, oh, you are very welcome. And I went, oh, you are very welcome. Welcome to our restaurant. I'd be arrested. So don't 欢迎光临 me, motherfucker. And I'll tell you right now, buddy, you're lucky. You're lucky I'm a comedian, because I would have been upset, except the minute that you said that, I couldn't help but think, this story's gonna rip it when I bring it to New York in 2023. So thanks to him. Thanks to you guys. 谢谢. 感谢你们的支持. 谢谢. Thank you. I got married last May, everybody. Thank you. She wants to have a kid, you know? And to be honest, I don't really want to have a kid. I was never against having kids, but I'm 47 now, and I don't want to have a kid because, number one, I've seen too much, and number two, I don't want to be a modern parent because now you have to be with the kids all the time. You know? You can't just be a parent. Now you have to be their friend, and I don't want any kid friends. They're shit company. You know? I want to be a parent like my mother and father in the 1980s. And truth be told, I would have a kid tomorrow if I could parent my kids the way that I was parented. Because my parents were never fucking with us. My mother's favorite thing to say was, get out of my sight. That was her favorite thing to say. Get out of my sight. You know, if we came home from school, if we were in the house more than 2 minutes and it wasn't raining, she'd be like, what are you doing in my house? Get the fuck out of my house. Are you watching all my children? No? Then get the fuck out of the house. It's not your time. Myself and my brothers would disappear for hours on our own, unattended, out on the street. The only thing that would bring us home was hunger and the moon. That was it. Outside on our own, unattended. And of course, guys my age, people, my friends, we love to wax lyrical about the good old days of going outside to play on your own. And then young people always say, yeah, but you could go outside and play back in the day because society was safer back then. Wrong. Society was not safer back then. We just didn't know how unsafe it was. Watch any of these Netflix documentaries. They all begin the same way. Somebody goes, back then we just didn't know. We didn't know. We were clueless. Predators everywhere. A van could have pulled up and been like, hey kids, get in. We would have been like, yeah, we've seen Scooby-Doo. Let's ride. Let's go. Once we don't go to the abandoned amusement park, I think we're going to be okay. Outside on our own, unattended, in the 80s in New York. This is what makes me laugh. People are like, oh, society was safer back then. You watch any of these fucking documentaries about the 80s in New York? It was fucking chaos. Plus, we were on the street. No fucking speed bumps. No four-way stop signs. No fucking parents. Just two-hand touch on the street, and we were fine. Now you can't go outside even though society's safer. I feel bad for these kids. Society's safer and they can't go out and enjoy it. Parents are like, don't go out there. There's peanuts out there. Don't go out there. There's peanuts. And yes, I know there were some children kidnapped in the 1980s. But I think it's a worthy sacrifice for 7 or 8 kids on a milk carton for the millions upon millions of happy childhoods that happened as a result of their sacrifice. And it has not gone unnoticed. Thank you for your service. And I know that seems a bit cold, but there's some insurance people here going, you know, that is a good analysis, actually. Risk assessment-wise. You're enjoying that more than everybody else. My mom died, by the way. I think I should point that out. I know you weren't expecting any death jokes, but spoiler alert, we're all gonna die. Just so you know, we're all gonna die. And I wanna give you guys some modern death advice. This is very important, okay? Because some of you guys are gonna deal with this. Number one thing you need to know, get the fucking passwords. This is the most important thing you need to know about modern death because everything's on their phone and on their computers. And if you don't get those passwords and they die, you have no idea the heartache you will deal with, right? Calls to banks, lines at banks, emails, bureaucracy, torturous admin trying to get your parents' money. So please, get the fucking passwords. Because it takes a cold-hearted son to hold their mother's iPhone in front of her recently dead head. But you have to do what you have to do. And listen, I know that seems a lot. And some of you are not laughing now, but in 5 years, some of you are going to be like, thank fuck we were at the Des Bishop show. I have a solution, guys. Well, you guys are great, man. So, how many young guys are in the crowd? We got any young guys in the crowd? See, I'm really killing it with the younger demographic. How old are you, man?
27.
27? That's pretty fucking young. I don't know. Anybody beat 27 in the crowd? Anybody? Any men younger than 27? How old are you, bro?
26.
26. Wow. I really need to fucking work on my TikTok. I can tell you that. Any under 25 men in the crowd?
Yeah.
Oh, in the back? How old are you guys?
23.
Oh, nice. What year were you born?
99.
Wow. Oh my God, this woman is about to puke in her fucking drink. 1999. That's great, man. Listen, I think it's great that you're at my show. We're a very different generation, but you're here, and that's awesome, And you're from the iPhone generation, and we love the iPhone. We love the convenience of the iPhone. However, there is a trade-off, right, between like the convenience and real human experience. And there are human experiences that we don't have to deal with anymore as a result of the iPhone. And even though it's great, it's also an experience that we don't have that was character building for me when I was younger. For example, when you swipe right on an app and it doesn't match, you know what that is, right? It's rejection. Yeah? But it doesn't feel like rejection because you're not there when anonymous woman that you swiped right on fucking swipes left on you. You're not there when she's like, eh. Whereas every time somebody went, eh, to me, when I was a teenager, it happened to my face. And it hurt like a bitch. Especially because you don't just fucking get swiped on. You had to first get the confidence to go up and ask strangers for their number or if they want a drink, which seems fucking creepy now. The average Gen Z is like, oh my God, that is like so creepy. You're like talking to strangers, like cancel this guy already. But that's the way it was back in the day. You had to build up your fucking confidence to talk to fucking strangers. If you didn't have balls, you didn't get pussy. That's the way it was back in the day. It seems toxic now. I know that seems toxic. I'm just telling you that things have changed. Thank God they've changed, but it's just the fucking way it was. You had to go up to strangers and you'd be like, hey, can I get your phone number? And they'd be like, no, to your face. And it hurt like a bitch. And you had to build yourself back up and get your confidence back. And that was character building, to get your confidence back and turn to our friend and be like, can I get your phone number? That's the way it was. That's the way it was. Seems weird now, but that's the way it was. And you think you know, but you don't know. I'm sure you've asked somebody for their number in your life, but you don't know how tough it actually was to get somebody's number because where are you going to put the number? Yeah? This is pre-cell phone, man. Nowhere to put the number. So you had to wait till the conversation was about to finish and you'd be like, hey, what's your phone number? And she'd be like, 357-6761. And you'd be like, okay, bye. 357-6761. 357-6761. 357-6761. Your friends are trying to talk to me like, yo, shut the fuck up. Shut up. 357-6761. 357. You're fucking dancing on the way home like 357-6761. 357-6761. If your friends are still with you, you're like, yo, you remember 357, you remember 6761. Because that's the other big difference. We used to have to remember shit. And I'm not saying that, like, we're better than you. I'm just saying, like, by necessity, we had to fucking remember shit. I have an infinite number of useless 718 fucking landline numbers in my fucking head. In fact, every number before 1996 is still in my fucking brain. Most of these numbers are dead. Rob Maraglia, 357-5657. Marcello Mariani, 939-5699. Fucking who the fuck knows if these numbers still exist? Second girl I ever had sex with in Ireland, Margaret Doran, 061314830. The night Kurt Cobain died. If you want a sense of time, the night Kurt Cobain died was the second time I ever had sex in my life. Margaret Doran, 061314830. And now I'm married. Yeah, we got married last May, Friday the 13th. No, we did not get a deal. Just happened to get married on Friday the 13th. We bought an apartment together. We're going to have some kids. We're going to spend the rest of our lives together. I do not know her phone number off by heart. I haven't fucked Margaret Doran since 1995. 061314830. Fucking immediately. Now, comedians always say this is a true story, and it's not true, so I want to rat myself out. That joke is not 100% true. In that, when I wrote it, it was true. I was engaged at the time, and I did not know my now wife's number off by heart, but I actually do now know her number off by heart, and the reason is because I don't have a CVS card, and she has a CVS card. So I use her phone number when I'm fucking blipping at CVS. So now I know it off by heart. Fuck it, I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do this bit, right? So what if you give a girl your number and you're waiting for her to call, right? You have no idea the stress of waiting for somebody to call your house. Because you know why? When the phone used to ring in the house, you had to get there first, which wasn't an easy thing to do. Because when the phone rang, the whole house was like, I'll get it! Fucking race for the phone. I'll get it! Except for your dad, who's like, I'm not here. This guy that tells you never to lie, unless you're lying for me. You had to get there before your brother. What if your brother gets to the phone first? It's like, oh, you're looking for Des? Sorry, he's taking a shit. Yeah, sorry. Phone, asshole. You phone. You ever been on the phone with a girl thinking everything's cool, and then it's like, Mom, are you listening on the upstairs phone? And then you have to meet them. This is the big difference. You think you know, but you don't know. You have to meet them. It's like, hey, I'll meet you tomorrow at 12 o'clock. You know what you had at 12 o'clock? Hope. 12:15, fucking panic. Is she dead? Is she standing me up? How long do I stand here before I give up? Yeah? You know what we used to do when we waited back in the early 90s? Wait. Just be with ourselves. Yeah? Left foot, right foot. Watch the world go by. Not just you, but everybody in the crowd. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time that you just waited? I promise you, it was a long fucking time ago. Yeah, and now there's a mental health crisis in young people, right? And I am not taking that flippantly, okay? I think the mental health crisis in young people is real. I do not think the Gen Zs are a weak generation. In fact, I think that the mental health challenges of young people are infinitely greater than anything I had to deal with in my adolescence, right? And I know that they're struggling because it comes up on my TikTok algorithm because as somebody in recovery, TikTok has decided that I care about well-being and mental health. So I see these teenagers and they're like, guys, we're really struggling and we need to practice mindfulness and meditation. And I think it's great that they are talking about mindfulness and meditation as teenagers. But it does entertain me because nobody, when I was a teenager, mentioned the word mindfulness. And do you know why that was? Because we were mindful half of every fucking day because we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a fucking cable service in our fucking pocket. Yeah? You waited for somebody, you waited. Mindfulness. Yeah? You were on the bus, you're on the bus. Watching condensation drip. Mindfulness. I didn't realize I was like a fucking guru before I got a cell phone. You want to return a VHS? You got to rewind that shit. Mindfulness. Have you ever rewound anything in your life? You are the post-rewind generation. And I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that there were times where we were forced to be with ourselves. You know, I used to take a shit. Just shit. I can't remember the last time I just took a shit. It was definitely over a decade ago. Because now I am so addicted. That used to be like me time. You know, that was everybody's like, yo, this is me time. Don't bother me. You know, on the throne. You know, now sometimes I'll be running home. I'm so addicted to my phone. I'll get home. I'll make it to the bathroom. I'm like, wow, I just made it. And then I'll realize I left my phone in my jacket. I'll pick my pants back up. I'll go back outside. I'm like, oh my God. I was nearly with myself for 2 minutes. What would I have done with my thoughts had I not been able to swipe on my Instagram for 2 minutes while I'm in the bathroom? So it's no wonder there's a mental health crisis in young people because they've never actually had a fucking second to be with their feelings. So every now and then when they get 10 fucking second window into their soul, they feel something and they're like, ah, what the fuck is that? And I'm not judging them. Because I'm the same now. I get to the bathroom, I'm like, who can I call? Who can I call? Lest I should be with myself for 2 minutes, who can I call? Which is never a good idea, because your phone call is always longer than your shit, so you're stuck, not able to flush, because the person on the line will know that you were taking a shit while you were talking to them. Huh? Unless, of course, you marry a millennial who's better at technology than you, and she lets you know that you can mute the phone, flush, and then walk out of the bathroom. Only the most perceptive friend will be like, hey, it was echoey a minute ago. Were you taking a shit while you were talking to me? There's been an acoustical change. Now listen. This is not a political statement, okay? But I just want to say this. We're not getting into it, okay? But I got vaccinated for COVID, okay? Not a political statement. I'm not getting into any arguments. You didn't get vaccinated. I actually don't care. We're not going there. But I did get the vaccine. I got the Pfizer. I'm not a savage. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because actually I got vaccinated early because I am a cancer survivor. Thank you. Thank you. Which is totally true. I had testicular cancer when I was 24. I didn't think it really warranted getting an early vaccine, but anybody who ever had cancer was entitled, and so I went. Even though testicular cancer, honestly, is not a serious thing. Early detection, and you're not going to really have any problem other than you lose a testicle, right? And it's never been an issue in my life. I didn't get the fake one. A lot of people ask me, did you get the fake one? And I didn't want one. But right before the surgery, they offered me a silicone prosthesis, and I was like, well, why do men get one? And the surgeon said, well, a lot of men get it for cosmetic reasons. And I was like, cosmetic? What are you gonna do to that? That is the least attractive part of the male anatomy. There's nothing aesthetically pleasing about the scrotum. You know? Never in my life was I ever with a lady and thought, I don't know how this is going. Wait a minute, I know what'll seal the deal. Wait till I unleash my wrinkled turkey's gizzard sack of love, and she will not be able to resist me. Gurgle, 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 gurgle. Plus, like, come on, women aren't really into balls. I mean, like, I'm sure some women enjoy balls, but, like, it's never, like, a deal breaker. Women are never like, oh, he's okay, but his balls, oh, my God, his ball. You know, and, like, you know, I've never been a balls guy. Like, it's never been an issue only having one. People always say to me, like, oh, it must be awkward explaining to people that you only have one ball. And honestly, it's not awkward because most of the time, people don't even fucking notice. You know? Women aren't like fucking dying to get at my balls. You know? And I've never been a balls guy. I've never been somebody who fucking needed my balls played with, so it's never a case of like, hey, before you get at my balls, let me just let you know, I'm not a balls guy. You know? So it never mattered. And in fact, I had full relationships where I never had to tell the woman I only had one ball. Yeah? Every now and then it was awkward because I'd be with a woman whose ex-boyfriend clearly was a balls guy. So suddenly she's all fucking up in my balls, thinking that I'm fucking loving it. But all I'm doing is getting more uncomfortable because I can tell she's looking for the other one and she's not going to find it. She's not going to find it. And you don't want to bring it up. At that stage, you don't be like, hey, listen, I had cancer. You don't want to bring up cancer when they're already at your balls. Things are going pretty well to ruin the fucking... You don't want them feeling bad for you when they're all up in your balls. But after a while, it's just like, Jesus Christ, she's not going to find it. Like, we got to move on. We got to move on from this. So I'm like, what's the matter? And she's like, there's only one. I'm like, what? What did you do to it? Spit it out. We got to find this. We got to find this thing. What can I say, man? I'm not a fucking balls guy, you know? Truth be told, I'm an ass guy. If you want to know what I like ass play. I'm an ass play guy. Have you ever had a finger in your ass, Lithuania? No, babe, listen, you'll get no judgment from me because I love a finger in my ass. And I know that a lot of guys don't know how great a finger in your ass feels. And I get it, you know? Some guys don't know. Some guys have like a little, you know, internalized homophobia. They think it's like gay shit. You know, they're like, fucking, hey, nothing fucking going up there. Because a lot of men think the gay button is up there, and once it's pressed, that's it. There's no going back. It's like, bing, woo! I never knew. Wake me up before you go. Just feels good, man. Give it a shot. But listen, when I had testicular cancer in the year 2000, so I was 24 years old, and I was in Ireland, and at that time I had already started doing stand-up, so I had a little bit of a public profile. So there was a lot of news stories about me getting testicular cancer, which meant that a lot of people in Ireland knew that I had testicular cancer. And a funny phenomenon, if you're somebody who's had testicular cancer publicly, is you get a lot of men that will randomly come up to you, like on the street or in a pub, to ask you about their balls, right? Because men don't like going to the doctor, so they're like, oh, this guy had a lump in his ball. Let me tell him about my fucking lump. Like, I'm gonna be able to fucking diagnose them, right? But I'm fine with it because I want men to just go get checked. So I've always opened to men talking to me about their health, right? So I had a very interesting situation. One time I was in Cork in Ireland, right? In a nightclub. It's like 1 a.m, right? And everybody's coming up and they're like looking for selfies. And it's like a bit of, fun, right? But then this one guy comes up to me and he goes, Diz, can I talk to you for a second there? And he has like a real fucking serious head. So I'm like, okay, this guy has a lump in his balls. So I take it seriously, so I pull him to the side. And he's like, yeah, thanks, Des. Yeah, listen, I was at your show last Saturday. Fucking great show, boy, great show. Was there with the girlfriend. Anyway, we got home after the show, up to the bedroom. Let's just say she was listening. Right, so I'm like confused because I think this guy's gonna tell me that he's worried about something wrong with his balls. Now he's telling me about his sex life. I was like, yeah, and what happened? He was like, fucking finger, straight away, right up there, boy. So I was over the moon because, a lot of comedians, they're so up their own ass and they'll do these interviews, like serious interviews about comedy, and they'll be like, if my jokes can change just one person's mind, if my joke can change one person's life, then my career will have been worth it. And they're full of shit. They just love the sound of their own voice, right? You're not changing anybody's life with your comedy. However, here I am with this guy who had never had a finger in his ass, and because of my joke, he now has a finger in his ass. I literally changed his fucking life. I changed his life with my comedy. And I'm so excited because I love a finger in my ass. I love it. And I'm so excited to hear what he thinks of it. I was like, and? And he was like, nah. Fucking disaster, boy. Her fake fingernail broke up in there, boy. Lithuania loves it, just so everybody knows. Is that too much for you? You had a big reaction. So anyway, I got vaccinated early. And, Cuomo, remember him? He was like anybody who had cancer ever. So I was so excited because, listen, I know in hindsight, the vaccines weren't as successful as we thought, right? But at the time, I really thought, you put this fucking needle in my arm and the pandemic is over. So there was a fierce excitement to find out I was eligible. Plus, but what I didn't know was that it was going to be so hard to get an appointment. So it's hard to go back to that time, but you got to remember the scramble to get appointments. You had to keep refreshing online. It was torture, right? So somebody told me, actually, you know what? Some people are getting appointments by calling the 1-800 number, 1-877 New York State Vax. And I thought, no fucking way is a phone number gonna work when you can do it on the internet. But lo and behold, I called the number and a woman answers, to my surprise. She said, what's your name, sir? I said, Desmond Bishop. Now, I just need to jump out of the story for a sec. Desmond Bishop is my full name. My mother gave me the name Desmond. She got it from a book of Irish names. I hated my name growing up in Flushing, Queens, because I was the only Desmond I ever met in real life. There were no Desmonds in Flushing, Queens. The only Desmond anybody knew was Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa. He was a great man. He won a Nobel Prize, but he was my nemesis because when you file my name, it becomes Bishop Desmond. And in St. Kevin's School in Flushing, Queens, they would always read out the names in alphabetical order. So the teacher would say, Bishop Desmond, and somebody would go, Tutu! And I became fucking Tutu all throughout the 1980s. I did not want to be called Tutu, so I hated my name. Then I moved to Ireland, where there are Desmonds everywhere. Suddenly I had a normal name. I grew to love my name. In fact, 2 amazing things happened to me when I moved to Ireland. 1, I had a normal name. And 2, fun fact about me, I am not circumcised, right? You are not either. Give me some skin. Give me some skin. Save it for your ass. But no, I'm not circumcised because I was born in London. It's my great shame that I was born behind enemy lines. My parents brought me back immediately after my birth, but I was born in England. It fucking breaks my soul. But anyway, as a result of being born in England, I'm not circumcised, which meant that in St. Kevin's in Flushing, Queens, I was the only uncircumcised kid on the swim team. So every time I go to fucking swimming, the kids would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with your dick?" Even though what's funny is they're saying, "What's wrong with your dick?" It's like, "What's wrong with your dick?" Even though it seems normal in the United States, it's fucking barbaric that your parents decided to chop off your fucking skin for no reason other than it's an ancient religious fucking ritual, right? And people are like, "Oh, it's cleaner." Have a fucking shower and save the fucking trauma. Unless your child's gonna get into porn, save his fucking foreskin. Right? This guy's like, "What's wrong with your dick?" It's like a fucking anteater. What the fuck is going on? You got a fucking aardvark for a penis. What the fuck's wrong? Hey, there's ants over there. Des, go suck up the fucking ants with your fucking aardvark dick. You don't want to think you have a fucking weird penis. All right? Well, then I moved to Ireland. Two great things happened. I had a normal name, and I'll never forget the first time I went into fucking showers, St. Peter's College, Wexford, St. Peter's boarding school, right? In Wexford, 1919, I went for a shower, and there was foreskin everywhere. Finally, I had a normal fucking penis. You know, there was hoodies everywhere. It was like an Onyx concert. It was like slam, well, let the boys be boys. So I grew to love my name, Desmond Bishop. Right? Then, 2014, my mom got sick actually, so I started spending more time in the United States. And even though I've done comedy a long time, I've actually hardly ever performed in the United States before 2015. So for the first time in my life, I'm performing here at the Comedy Cellar with a lot of black comics. Not a lot of diversity in the Irish comedy scene. Here, a lot of black comics, love working with them, and every single one that I met told me that as far as they are concerned, Desmond Bishop is a very black name. Now, I never knew I had a black name. I knew that Desmond Bishop was a linebacker for the Green Bay Packers because every time he fucked up about 12 years ago, my Twitter would light up with angry people from Wisconsin being like, "You fat fuck, you should have blocked that guy." And I'd be like, "That's not me. I'm a skinny white guy. That's Des Bishop 55. If you want to find him, he's Des Bishop 55. I never knew I had a black name. But then funny shit would happen. Like, black people come up to me after a show here at the Cellar and they'd be like, "Yo, man, you're funny. I seen your name on the lineup. I never heard of you. I thought you were going to be black. You walked on stage. I was like, this motherfucker funny, but he got a black name." Fun fact about me, I have a black name. Never mattered in my life. Never been an issue until I called 1-877 New York State Vax. The woman on the line answered the phone. She said, "What's your name, sir?" I said, "Desmond Bishop." And she said, "Don't worry, brother. We're going to get you a vaccine." It was a dilemma for me, man. Because I've been refreshing for days. I was pretty fucking sick and not being able to get an appointment. So I was like, "Thank you, sister. You know, it's been hard out there. It's been hard out there. Shit. You know, there's a lot of hesitancy in our community. You know, I'm going to spread the good word. Shit." But, you know, I'm trying to be a better man these days. Try to be a better man. You know, a lot of negative publicity about men. You know, I'm married to a podcaster. She goes on these podcasts. A lot of women complaining that men think that sexual gratification... No, that came out wrong. I know, fucking women complain. They never stop, these fucking women. That's not what I was saying. You know? So it's some fucking women trying to laugh me into a problem there. I see what you're doing. No, they complain that, you know, men think that sexual gratification is a one-way street. And to be honest, guys, I'm sick of the negative publicity. We've had a bad run, okay? We need some positive PR. So, guys, we got to be better. We got to start looking after women first. But, ladies, please, you have to be patient with us. Because every woman is different. Every man is the same. You know, you don't need Google Maps with a man, you know? With a woman, you need Google Maps, because every woman is different. Every man is the same. You don't need Google Maps. A man is like the LIE. Get on it, don't get off it, you're in Riverhead. You can't fuck this up. Women, every time you meet a new woman, a whole new set of directions. You know? You meet one woman, you kiss them on the neck, they're like, oh, you got me. I'm saturated. And yeah, I know women. Women like to be kissed on the neck. You know, then you meet another woman, you kiss them on the neck, they're like, oh my God, I'm too ticklish, oh my God, don't touch me there. Recalculating route. You know, some women like to be slapped. You know, I'm not into it. I'm not into the slapping or the choking. You know, I've never understood the choking. It's always like, how close to death do you want to pretend to be? You know, but I'm not into the choking or the slapping, but I'll do it. I will do it. Ladies, I promise you, I will do whatever it takes to get you to your destination as fast as possible. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm waiting for you to get there every time. Every time I'm waiting. Like the minute you're there, boom, right behind you. I was waiting the whole time. I was waiting the whole time. I mean, I know it's a cliche, but it's worth repeating. The great difference between men and women is very simple. Women need to concentrate really hard to have an orgasm, and men need to concentrate really hard to not have an orgasm. You know, women are thinking of George Clooney in his 40s, and men are thinking of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders debating health care. We need a single payer system, a single payer system. Fucking Braveheart, you know? Hold. So slapping that shit's gonna get you there, I'm gonna slap it. You know? Not that I ever do it right, because I'm not into it, so I'm always like that, and they're like, no, fucking hit it. I'm like, I don't want to hurt you. They're like, I want to be hurt, motherfucker, that's the point. So then you whack that shit thinking they're gonna be like, not that hard, but they're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and then you meet somebody else like, I know what you want. You want that. And they're like, I'm calling the police. Recalculating route. You have added 19 minutes to your journey. Police reported ahead. That's a Waze joke. A lot of Long Island people in if you're clapping at the Waze joke. A lot of car people, you know? Be a great app, man. Waze for the bedroom. Think about it, you know? A lot of guys, they don't know what they're doing. Think about it, ladies. You're in a new relationship. You're with a guy. He doesn't know you, right? So he's doing shit you're not comfortable with. It can be hard to say it because guys can be sensitive. Like, I know, don't fucking tell me. I know what I'm doing. You know, and guys not going to ask for directions, right? So cut out all the awkwardness. Waze for the bedroom. You've keyed in all the shit that you like. Tell him to turn on the GPS. Follow the instructions. You're happy. He's happy. Plus, awkward time of the month, Waze has got you covered. Lane closure reported ahead. Use the service road. That's an anal joke, Lithuania. That's an anal joke. And for the record, lady, just in case you're going to misjudge what I'm talking about here, I do not have a problem with period sex. I am not somebody who is a... Didn't realize we stepped on somebody's fetish here tonight. This guy, fucking redwings.com over here. Well, listen, I know that it can make some people uncomfortable, even though I never understand, because it's like something we all encounter in our lives. Like, we've all been in that situation where it's like, hey, I have my period, we can only fool around. It's like, fine, let's just fool around. 45 minutes later, fuck it, chuck a towel down, we can work that shit out. You know, we've all had the reevaluation. You know, sex brings a lot of reevaluation. You know? You think about it. You know? Oh, we don't have any condoms? Fine, let's just fool around. 45 minutes later, I'm ready to be a father. I'm ready to be a father. Come on. You know? But listen, I understand. It makes people uncomfortable. And the truth is, I actually stopped doing this routine years ago. And the reason why was because it would make crowds uncomfortable. Right? And the reason why I started doing it again is about 6 years ago, my 15-year-old niece walked out of the bathroom. She said something really open about her period. I was like, whoa, Bella, too much information. And she was like, why? I was like, uh-oh, 15-year-old feminists coming at ya. And then she ranted at me. She was like, why can't I talk about my period? Like all the guys in school, they talk about shitting and farting and jerking off, and it's fucking hilarious. Why can't I talk about my period? Oh my God, I forgot. Is it for the existence of humanity? Why can't I talk about my period? I was like, amen, Bella. You talk about your period, and I'm bringing the period sex bit back into my show. That's right. People are like, oh no, come on, Des, period sex is different. Not to me. Moisture's moisture, that's what I say, yeah? I don't give a fuck if it's color-coded, that's the truth. It's just a different color of disgusting. It's just a different color of shit you want off you approximately 60 seconds after you thought it was the best idea in the world to put it all over you. And women definitely know about that, because in the heat of passion, you want it on you. You're like, all over me, that's so hot, that's so hot. 60 seconds later, it's like, get it off, get it off, get it off. You're fucking limboing into the bathroom trying to keep it off the carpet. And this is very important, guys. All right? If you take nothing else from the show, please take this. All right? Period sex is one position sex. I can't have you doing it wrong. All right? I can't have all you guys going home being like, oh, that comedian says it's fine. See, fucking people get excited about period sex, I tell you. I can't have you doing it wrong. I can't have you all going home being like, oh, that comedian says it's fine, and then tomorrow my Instagram DMs are full of crime scenes from all over New York City. I don't need CSI, Greenwich Village all up in my DMs, all right? So, listen, period sex is one position sex. You pick one position. I recommend woman on top. You pick it, you stick to it until you are finished, and then you do not disconnect until you are on a tiled area. This is very important. All right, so are we done? Okay, hold. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. You space invader into the bathroom, and then you disconnect. You have arrived at your destination. Unless, of course, you're in a hotel, then it is not your problem. But before I go, can I just say that any GPS, any ways for the bedroom that's worth it, will tell guys the first thing you need to do is go down. I know this is very heteronormative material, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. Guys, you gotta go down. Going down has gotten some negative publicity lately. DJ Khaled came out and said he doesn't go down on women. Well, that is bad advice. Great DJ, bad fucking sex advisor. You gotta go down, guys, and when you're down there, you stay down there until the job is done. I get it. It's not easy. I'm in my 40s. It's a very difficult position for your neck. I don't know if women realize that. When you're lying flat on a mattress, I can't hold this position for any length. Oh, you think I'm joking? I'm thinking about developing a special mattress for middle-aged men so that they can make their wives happy. That has a special dip for the chin. There's a chin dip in the mattress. Oh, you think I'm joking? I'm going on Shark Tank. I'm gonna be the My Pillow guy for middle-aged going down. No, I'm obsessed about it. Honestly, I don't have kids yet, but we're thinking about getting a bunk bed early so I can put my wife on the top bunk, stand up straight, engage my core, take the pressure off the lower part of my spine, get those heels on my shoulders, and get back to the old days, baby. You gotta go down, guys. And when you're down there, you stay down there until the job is done. I get it. It's not easy. It's not easy, ladies. You gotta be patient. You can't breathe when you're down there. I don't know if women know that. You can't breathe. You can't breathe through your mouth because you're using it, and you can't breathe through your nose because that's not hot. No woman is climaxing listening to your labored nose breath, tickling the area where the pubic hair used to be before the eradication of pubic hair in 1997. I don't know if you know that, 99, but we used to have pubic hair as a species. I don't know if you... Before we completely evolved out of it in my lifetime. Yeah. I know, it's not easy, guys, but you don't complain. I get it. Your neck hurts. You can't breathe. Your jaw hurts because you've been gnawing away like you're on ecstasy for fucking 24 hours. Like, but you don't complain, guys. You don't complain. Because no matter how hard it is down there, it's harder to be a woman, all right? You don't get periods, you don't get pregnant, and you get paid more. So you stop fucking complaining when you're down there, right, ladies? Right? It's very easy to get these feminists wet, I can tell you that right now. I'm losing the Jordan Peterson crowd, but I'm getting the ladies on my side. Getting the ladies. You don't complain, guys, and you don't get lazy. You know who you are. Some guys, they get lazy. They don't stop, but they like to rest against the thigh. You know who you are. The thigh is not a pillow. No resting. You never look up. This is very important. Never look up. Not some guys, they lose their confidence. They're not sure she's enjoying it, so they look up to check on her, but then she's like, are you okay? It's like, oh God, don't worry about me. You need to stay up there in the concentration zone. I'm down here in the work zone. You need to stay up there with your imagination. Stay up there with fucking Zac Efron or Timothée Chalamet, Michael B. Jordan, whoever the fuck you need to think about. You need to concentrate, because we've had 6 false alarms already. I don't know what the fuck is going on in that head. Because sometimes you're down there forever, man. And this is very important, guys. Please pay attention. When she says, I'm so close, she's not as close as she thinks. This is very important. I'm so close is like 30 seconds left in a basketball game. There's a lot more than 30 seconds. A lot of shit's gonna go down, so don't take your eye off the prize. Fucking concentrate. Like, sometimes you're down there forever and like nothing's working. You've tried all the tricks. Slow, hard, fingers, no fingers, fucking nothing's working. And you're about to give up, you're getting a fucking cramp in your jaw, and suddenly she's like, oh, I'm so close. You're like, oh, thank you, Lord. And then she starts moving. You're like, where the fuck are you going? Where are you? Jeez, it took me 20 minutes to find that spot. Where the fuck are you going? Suddenly it's like Top Gun. It's like, Goose, I can't get a lock on this. Goose, I can't get a lock. Anyway, guys, I've been Des Bishop. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Slow. Thank you.